Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What No One Tells You podcast. My name is Claudia Slujitoru, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Yamilet Nieto. Hello, Yamilet.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and very, very good to have you here. And thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm very excited for this episode. We have Yamilet with us, who is originally from Puebla, Mexico, and she holds an MBA in logistics and Universidad Valle, Mexico. And I hope that I spelled it right.
Yeah,
Have
you
I?
spelled it right.
Okay.
Yes, you did. It's a tricky one.
I know, it's a tricky one. Yamilet has been living in Europe since 2017 when she actually moved to Spain. And today, just recently, like maybe 2 months ago, she moved to Romania to work here in Romania. How is that experience going for you, Yamilet, so far?
So far, it's great. We will talk about it maybe later, but I love it.
Good. I'm really glad to hear it. And she has a career in supply chain and logistics, and she spent several years leading multicultural teams as a manager. And I think, from as far as she told me, that she really enjoyed helping people grow and develop their skills. So, what we would like to hear from you, Yamilet, I mean, we will have a whole discussion, and we're really excited to hear about your experiences, especially since moving to Romania. But maybe at the beginning, if you could tell us what exactly it's coming from the Mexican culture that shaped you as a leader.
First of all, I love that you said Mexican because this is the right way to say Mexican. So thank you for that. And to answer your question, I think a big part of my leadership style comes from my Mexican culture, of course, because I'm Mexican. And of course, through this time, it was shaped by my professional experience and by living abroad. But growing up in Mexico, I was surrounded by a culture that really values human relationships. We Mexicans tend to build trust first, and we genuinely care about people, and we naturally create close connections. And I think for the little that you know me, you can already tell that.
Absolutely, yes, I want.
So that translated in, right?
Yes, you're
So
right.
being said that and translated into my leadership style, I think because I always believe that people perform better when they feel seen and respected and supported. And I think also collaboration, because Mexicans are very team oriented. So we use this work spirit into helping each other, finding solutions together, and being flexible when challenges come up. This is something that I really admire about my culture. And as a leader, I've always tried to create that same environment where people feel comfortable and they feel comfortable for us for help and succeed as a team, rather than competing with each other.
Okay, yep, that sounds quite good. I would like to be part of your team now. So, if we would focus.
Come on, join me.
If who knows what future holds for us. If we focus on your first role as a manager, if you could think about that moment, what was the mission that you had, and how would you describe the team that you were managing? How diverse were they, and things like that?
My mission in my first management role was, of course, because coming from logistics, it was to optimize the logistics resources. Logistics is always about optimization. And my team experience evolved in two phases, let's call it that way. So my phase one was when the team was made out by me, actually, in full. And most of the people were from Latin America and Spain. And all of us were all similar in age. So it was pretty easy, being honest, to connect and build a strong team spirit. But then came phase two. And phase two came because the company merged. So that meant that the team grew and became much more diverse and bigger. And there was a wider gap of ages. So
Mhm.
I will admit that at first I was very worried because I was warned by previous managers that it would be very difficult to manage. The team was very diverse in age and also some historical behaviors. But at the end, and understanding the past of the team And learning to navigate those differences between both teams actually became a key of how I grow in my role as a leader.
That's very interesting. It's good that they warned you. I mean, you cannot say that you didn't know from the beginning.
Exactly. Exactly.
Should appreciate that.
It's appreciated, but
Now that you think about it in the past, you need to call
yes,
your
it's true.
former
It's true.
manager to say thank you.
Actually, it was my former manager, but also the previous manager. And I'm looking back, yes, I think it's well when you are warm, but sometimes
Yeah.
you need to be very careful with that because maybe you could possibly create an idea that it may not be the right one. But
Yeah.
yes, I was lucky because I was warm.
Okay. Could you tell us what was the moment when you realized, let's say, that applying, one single motivational approach, yeah, like a one size fits all, wasn't actually going to work?
I think I realized this with the first team in the first phase, because back then I believed that people perform best when they feel seen, as recognized, and as I said before, in the Mexican culture, most of the times works that way. So I assumed that everyone shared my own ambition and everyone was driven by the same desire for recognition and growth as I did. And I clearly remember the moment I realized this wasn't the case for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I even questioned if I had the skills to lead the team effectively because we were not desiring the same things. When the team grew in the second phase and became even more diverse, the variable of motivation increased because it was bigger and the age gap was expanding. So,
Yeah.
what I learned in the first stage helped me, and I knew better how to adapt and lead in a way that actually worked for everyone.
Okay. And was there a moment when maybe a conversation or a question that really changed how you approach this? I mean, what was the moment when it clicked, let's say?
Yes, yes, I remember a specific conversation with a team member. So I was trying to motivate them with the recognition that, as I said before, that they will receive from senior leadership, from the committee of direction,
Mm.
and maybe to potentially have some newsletter of our project and future promotions of that team member. And as I spoke, I noticed that the demeanor shift. So the body language's change became visibly uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So there I was, uh, seeing something that I was not expecting. And in that moment, I realized that what drove me, my ambition, my visibility, my external recognition, was not necessarily what motivated everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it meant that my personal motivational path wasn't universal. And I realized that I had to lead each person in a different way based on what they really are motivated from.
And can you tell us what did you actually do? I mean, what do you think that it actually worked from what you tried, and what actually did not work so well? I don't want to say it failed, but it kind of wasn't the, let's say, the
Yeah,
right
but
recipe.
I mean, so what I did is I took it back home and I deeply reflect on my leadership approach. I started by asking the team directly about their professional motivations and what drives them. Then I realized that I needed to diversify my message, basically tailoring my approach to my audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved recognition to a secondary factor. So it was always my green card, and now it wasn't. So I moved it to the secondary factor, and I use it only to one sessions and maintaining focus on collective benefits when speaking to the team. So my main, let's call it mistake or failure was initially assuming that everyone shared personal level of ambition. And I also learned that group messaging only works if the team is genuinely united. This is very important. Without the foundation of trust and cohesion team, the message won't work.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm very curious to see how was a team meeting looking like for you as their manager in this, let's say, new approach.
You are taking me back to that moment when I was there in front of all of them and so many
All
different
eyes on you.
ages. And yes, and I remember seeing them, each one of them, and so different they were. They were at at the same time. It's a special situation, but they were very different in many ways. So my team meetings focus on goals that help everyone. So first stage is the team is united, and then you keep the message, a global message that it's going to help everyone in total. So at the end of the meeting, I will set 5 to 10 minutes for anyone who wanted to share something. Maybe talk about individual challenges, but always keep it voluntarily. So everyone will feel comfortable.
Can you tell us what did you enjoy the most about this experience?
Working with this team was a really great experience, and sometimes I do miss them a lot. But looking back, what I enjoyed the most was learning about the unique motivations of each individual. I think that's important, and that's something that you have to enjoy when you are working with a team, and also taught me to identify individual personalities rather than just relying on generational labels. Because remember, for phase two, most of the team was in a different generation. And the team at the end unified beautifully between both phases and building something that no one expected. Even though, as I said, I was warned about the challenges of the second team, more diverse team, I did not experience at the end those difficulties at the extent of other people predicted. So the lesson I learned in the first phase truly prepared me. Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. And I mean, I'm sure you missed that period of time when you think about it. There are so many experiences that when we look back, we really say, wow, it was maybe difficult, but it really helped us to grow and to change ourselves as a
Exactly.
person, as a personality. A question now coming back a bit to Romania, because I'm sure the audience is quite curious to see how do you find, more specifically, living in Romania, how is this experience for you? So what was, let's say, the biggest cultural shock moving to Romania? I mean, also professionally, but also day-to-day life, if any.
Well, yeah, of course. It's a big change. I mean, I'm coming from the other side of the ocean.
Yeah.
So moving to Romania has been a positive surprise. As I said before, I love it. I'm going to be honest, I was told because that there's this common reputation about people in the Eastern Europe. They keep like a shield before connecting. But I have found the exact opposite. Romanians are incredibly helpful, whether with language barrier, because I don't speak the language yet,
Yet.
or
You
word
do a
tags
bit.
related at work.
You're
Yes, yet.
practicing. I know you're practicing.
I'm practicing. Yes, I will get there. I will say that my Romanian colleagues and professionally and also personally, I feel that they are there for me. So connecting with the Romanian people actually feels quite similar to the warmth that I was used to in Mexico. So I really appreciate that. And it has been an incredible welcoming experience. Yes.
Glad to hear it. And I know that we're not only nice to you, we're nice in general. We are very,
Exactly.
we have this spirit as well as being friendly. We are proud of our country, and we want to
Beautiful country.
pass this pride to also the people who are visiting us. Is there something is there something that Romanians do at work that would never fly, let's say, back home?
I think communication style, and let me clarify. In Mexico, we are very good in being softer and when it comes to say no. So it's something that is really hard for us. And if there's any Mexicans in the challenges in the channel, they cannot say that I'm lying. So it's really hard for us to say no. So here I found that professional communication is more direct and transparent, which I actually appreciate now that being honest, I have adjusted to it. So now I know how to say no without feeling guilty, let's call it that way. So the
Okay.
boundaries between work and personal life are quite clear here. In Mexico, we tend to blend them more like naturally,
Mhm.
but I mean, it doesn't mean that any of both of styles is better, but just recognizing that there are different approaches to help you navigate the culture and build stronger professional relationships.
Okay. So if you go to a coffee shop, for example, and they say, "Would you like some sugar?" You mean that back in Mexico, you don't say no if you don't want any sugar? You're like,
No, I
maybe,
mean, it's more
maybe
like
not
a
today.
maybe, maybe a little. So you will say poquito, and you will shut it down, but at the end you didn't want sugar. So you don't want to feel the other one, the one in front of you, uncomfortable. I mean, that example is more like drastic, but for example, like to get on to date someone outside of the office, for example. And when I
Mhm.
say date, I mean to have a coffee outside of the coffee of work. It's really hard for us to say no. We will say yes, but then we will not show up because it was not convenient. So in here, I've learned that it's okay to say, no, I'm sorry, I won't be there, but that doesn't mean that I don't wanna be your friend.
Yes, okay. That's a good, that's exactly. That's a good one. And sometimes you just say no, and that's it. No hard feelings,
And
you know?
it's not bad.
It's not
Yes.
bad. I mean, the other person, okay, might be a bit sad, but it will pass. Good. Thank you so much, Yamilet. It was a great. I had a great time with you. I hope you also had a great time.
Me too.
And I'm very happy that we did this recording and that you accepted the invitation. And I will see you next time. And everyone, have a very good week. Thank you once again, Yamilet.
Thank you, Claudia. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye bye.